Vinny, and I hope your willpower is in good shape, because we're gonna prop. This episode of DIY Prop Shop is brought to you by Stoke Cold Brew Coffee. Okay, so we're gonna be making a prop from your favorite Ryan Reynolds movie, The Proposal. Actually, it's the Green Lantern. And it's actually not even the movie. We're gonna go with the comic book styling because we like it so much. Now, there are a lot of Green Lantern ring replicas out there, but not a whole lot of power batteries, so we thought it'd be interesting to make our own. This would also be the perfect addition if you're gonna do a Green Lantern cosplay, and you definitely wanna take this along if you're planning on doing some nerdy camping soon. So looking at a reference image, we know that we're gonna need a sphere and definitely a light source so we can see that green light come out of it. But apart from that, we'll need pieces to make the base, the cap, these two flanges that come out of the side, and also a handle to wrap around the top. So for the main body of the lantern, we know that we want a spherical object that can transmit light out of it. So an interesting route to go would be actually getting lighting globes. Now you might find these on street lamps or maybe outside your house, but we're gonna be using this right side up with a light source inside of it. So this one is actually glass, but I've got another one right here made of acrylic, and there's a really important difference between glass and acrylic that I'd like to illustrate for you. So now that we know that we are absolutely using acrylic, let me show you what I've got in mind for the rest of this prop. I've got a couple of PVC shapes here. We've got this flange base that we're gonna use as the bottom of our lantern, and the globe fits nicely inside of that. We've got this end cap. This is a fez. That's gonna go on the top. And then for the two flanges that come out the side, they're not perfectly cylindrical. They kind of flare out. So I think what we're gonna do is actually heat these up and melt them a little bit over a metal funnel and try to get that shape. So now we can start thinking about our light source for this. Now, ironically, you're gonna use a green lantern to make this. I got this for about $10 online, and it doesn't quite fit on the inside, but we'll see what we can do with a couple modifications. Let us take this apart. It looks like it accepts 3 D-cell batteries, and I see a couple screws on the inside. I bet if we loosen a few of those, we can probably pop this top off, or the bottom will drop out. All right, save these guys because you never know. Whoop, okay, and it dropped out the bottom. So we don't need this at all. And what we've got here, that's a lot better. We need a bottom surface for the base that we chose. So I got this PVC ground cap. That'll actually be an interesting function. So we can take the whole lighting unit out, we can turn it on and off, or change the batteries when we need to. And you may want to if you're walking around at a convention all day. Imagine that this is fully screwed in, and then this glues into the bottom here. Our next step is just getting that to fit inside. So it looks like we're gonna clip these corners, and I'm gonna do that with a hot knife. So the hot knife did really well cutting off the edges of this guy, but when it came to this, for some reason, it just fully sucked. So it's time for a tool change out. We're gonna go with the old rotary tool and see if we can hack it off. I'm gonna give you a little preview. It's gonna look a little like that. And we're definitely gonna want a green gel. So welcome to the experimental portion of today's video. We're going to be melting PVC to create that flange shape for the sides of the lantern. Now, I haven't melted PVC since I was 13 with my cousin Zachary, and we were making PVC rockets, but that was much smaller PVC, so I don't really know how this is gonna turn out. But the idea is to add oil to this pot, maybe 1.5 inches deep. The oil should not be so hot that it's smoking, so try to control the temperature a little bit. We're gonna submerge the coupler, let that soften for maybe about 30 seconds, and then take it out and guide it over the metal funnel to create that shape. All right, we just pulled about 4 of these because I didn't know how this was gonna turn out, so we made a couple extra, but I'm pretty happy with the shape so far. So we've got all our flanges laid out before us, and that allows us to pick just our 2 favorite. You can see on actually every one of these, they've got this V-groove split on the lip here, and that's actually just exploiting the seam of the PVC. So we'll fill that in with maybe some epoxy sculpt. I wanna show you like the coolest failure that we had. This is what happens when your oil's too hot and you leave it in for too long. It just really starts to outgas and bubble on the bottom, and it really gets that bad split. This is going on my desk because I really like it. Now, as for the rest of the parts, I was going to use this tiny end cap as the top of the lantern, but now I just think it looks like a small, stupid hat, and unfortunately I can't unsee that. So I decided to just go with the same end cap that we've got on the bottom. We'll go for some more symmetry. I think that'll look nice and balanced. And now for the handle, we've got these 1.5-inch end caps. These will go on these sides, and we're going to use a bucket handle, drill through each of these, rebend the bucket handle so it fits inside, glue these on, and that will be how we hold the entire thing. You'll notice that these end caps have a lot of writing on them, and you could certainly sand them off, or you could fill that with a little bit of spackle, but I'm going to melt some thermoplastic over the top, and I think it'll just look very clean. Just a sad thermoplastic man. Whenever we need to replace the batteries, the bottom will stay with the cap and we'll be able to unscrew this. We've been using a combination of 5-minute epoxy and also hot glue just to hold it all in place because it dries really quickly, just to be able to set it and get it level. But I'm also going to use some tub and tile adhesive caulk to help fill in that gap and just give it a little bit more structural rigidity on the outside ring. We've got all of our pieces in place, and to avoid getting any paint on the inside of our light surface, where this is the only area that light is going to come out is through these flanges, we're going to put one side down, and we've got the other side full of paper towels, and we'll just be really careful not to spray on the inside of that. One of the last but very important details is getting this light to be the color green. So I've got a piece of an old lighting gel here. It's a very light green, but if we roll it up enough and slide it right over our little light pole here, and we're gonna tape that off. Looks good. So that's it, that's our prop. We've got a finished Green Lantern power battery. After painting was done, I gave it a clear coat of gloss just to protect it, and I'm really happy with how that all turned out. We got to do some weird techniques in the kitchen of bending PVC, and we had a couple good failures along the way, which I always think is really important. If you've got any ideas of what we should build next, send an email to DIYPropShop@break.com or leave a comment below. I always love to see what you build as well. So until next time, I'm Vinny. Take care. Hey, got some exciting news. DIY Prop Shop is going to be live for the first time at the MidSummer Scream Halloween Festival this July 30th and 31st, 2016 at the Long Beach Convention Center in California. We're going to be building props all day. We'll be teaching a class on how to make your own zombie weapons. We would love to build with you, so come see us. Thanks again to Stoke Cold Brew Coffee for sponsoring this. Click the link below to get some inspiration to bring your ideas to the next level.